What's up, guys? It is Dan, back with more F1 2021 co-op career mode with Nick. We're in the USA today off the back of a double race in Singapore and Japan because we didn't have much happen. Thankfully, though, this race is much more interesting than the last two even. And here we go, back to the practice. Those are the points that we have. We still have maxed out pretty much everything at this point, so we're just collecting discounts and saving the points, because at some point, it might have been after this race, we had the regulation changes. And underway in qualifying, there we go. We quite just about made it into Q2 there, which is probably about right, I suppose, for level we are. We're sort of like best of the worst at the moment, so we're quite happy with that. So we jumped into Q2, and I don't know what happened here. I set the best lap around the USA that I think I have ever and will ever do, and there we go. We crossed the line in first. I mean, that was beaten eventually by Hamilton and Perez, but you know, how did I even do that? So yeah, Nick was knocked out in Q2, so I went out for Q3, and I was running 8th, and when I went to improve my time, I typically bottled it and threw it into the barrier. So we'll be starting from P10 in the Grand Prix. Well, here we are, the United States Grand Prix in Austin, Texas, a track that's quietly becoming a fan favourite, I think, and shares a few similarities with some other favourite parts of other circuits, particularly Silverstone, with the Sector 1 being maggots and beckets and steroids. And a couple of DRS straights here should suit the Williams cars particularly nicely. But without further ado, I'm joined by Nick in the commentary box.
Welcome to the Spanish Grand Prix.
No, it's not the Spanish Grand Prix. It's the second-hand English Grand Prix.
Radiant Slothz suspiciously starting in 10th position.
Don't worry, we've already established that it was a very good qualifying session for me. And around turn 1, we go into the side of Esteban Ocon, it seems, at the start of this race.
Radiant Slothz probably about to corner cut. I can't work out which car is his.
There's so many cars all at the same. How is it supposed to commentate over this absolute garbage?
That's racist, Dan. You can't say all cars look the same.
Well, I'm not going to lie, Nick. A lot of these F1 cars have very distinct similarities.
There is a lot of blue.
There's a lot of blue, and there's a lot of cars starting with the letter A. As we come on to the DRS straight, of course, no DRS at the start of this race, but we do have the ERS system in play on lap 1 as Radiant Slothz chases down Charles Leclerc. And he does look to the outside at the end of the straight, and unfortunately,
Leclerc gets a bit twitchy into the corner.
Looks like Esteban Ocon had a very ambitious dive, but was not able to make the move. And it looks like Justin Freshpot did get past him in the background. Maybe we will have a look at that in a moment as we round the final few corners of Sector 3. And a very nice bit of the track to drive, but not much overtaking going on here, unfortunately. And the procession of cars make their way onto lap 2. But I think we're staying on board with Radiant Slothz. Maybe something else is going to happen. No, we're going. And this is
back in the past.
We're back in the past. This was
Justin
Freshpot getting past Esteban Ocon. Excellent camera work right there.
You see my driver's head in the car.
Yeah, your driver spends most of this race leaning the same direction with his head. I don't know what's going on.
He must have slept dodgy. Anyway, he made the overtake.
I think he might have just been recovering from a dodgy accident in the past. Radiant Slothz looks to the outside around turn 1 on Charles Leclerc. And he's side by side coming down into turn 2. Oh, and he gets past. Easy. Kay stood behind me. She's wondering what the hell we're doing. We're just talking about Formula One cars driving around the circuit for the entertainment of the people of YouTube.
And it's Justin Freshpot, the number 1 driver. That's why he's in 11th, because it's 2 ones, because he's really hammering home that he is the number 1 driver.
Oh, and Fernando Alonso's willing to take it away. Oh, and he's become
instantly overtaken.
He's become the 1-2 driver. Oh,
21 set.
Morty 21. Here we go. Radiant Slothz coming back onto the DRS straight. We're almost halfway through this race already. It's almost as though nothing much happened at the start of this Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc goes to the inside and is unfortunately able to make that move with the superior
breezes past speed. The rookie.
And here we go, later on in the lap. I think we're about to see our first round of pit stops. Yep. Who did that? Who came in? It was Sebastian Vettel comes into the pits first, hoping to get the undercut on some of the cars around him. And I think Max Verstappen and Lando Norris as well.
Points position.
I was already in the points position.
Well, you're in the point position. Now you're in the points position.
Oh, I see what you did there, Nick. That was very clever of you.
This is why I'm the official virtual F1 commentator.
As we round the final couple of corners again, I think we've got the next batch of cars into the pit lane. Who has disappeared this time? Charles Leclerc is in. Perez and Bottas are also in, which leaves Carlos Sainz, Daniel Ricciardo, and Sebastian Vettel, who I thought had already pitted at this point, but I guess he decided not to.
Incredible commentary.
And here we go. This is something that was happening earlier on. This was Lance Stroll getting past Justin Freshpot into turn 1. I guess he's not really having a good day there, Justin Freshpot. I
keep getting confused about who we're on board with, because in Season 2 I've changed my helmet, so I don't recognise that helmet, and I'm like, oh, it's Dan.
Don't forget, Nick, Season 2 hasn't happened yet. That's in the future.
Oh, yeah, no, I forgot. We're watching this live.
Exactly, yeah. Live as Pierre Gasly looks to the inside.
Yeah, Gasly all over the place.
Yeah,
Justin Freshpot scared into giving him the position.
It did look a little bit dodgy, that pass. Definite lag, or I suppose just alcohol was affecting Pierre Gasly's ability to drive there, as Justin Freshpot comes around the penultimate corner and dives into bits. Lance Stroll going slow there. Holds up Pierre Gasly. Is that a terminal issue, do we think, for Lance Stroll? He is losing a lot of places. Either that or he's just forgotten which way to go.
Yeah, he broke down, but he didn't come into the pits. He went to the marshal's post, but he blocked the pit lane on the way. Because he's an idiot.
I don't know if you spotted that in the top right there of the the front right corner of that Williams. The medium tyre was already fitted. And it looks as though when they took
the Williams team are.
Even better, when they took the tyre off, there was a medium tyre on the ground next to the pit crew. So I think that there might be some dodgy play going on here. As we come to the end of lap 8 now, and Radiant Slothz surely is coming into the pits with the last of the leaders. And in he comes. I'm going to wonder how much interesting stuff goes on in these pit lanes. I mean, we saw in the last video with Japan and Singapore some sorcery going on with the Williams team, able to conjure front wings out of thin air. And
Radiant Slothz has a normal, non-multiverse pit stop standard in Formula 1.
And it looks as though we are going to be joining, and it back in 11th as Antonio Giovinazzi, the god amongst men, has not come into the pits yet, so he's a little bit out of position. And Justin Freshpot now, I think, passing the pit straight as some of the other cars that he was battling earlier on come out, and he is, well, fairly comfortably ahead of Mick Schumacher there, and Esteban Ocon a little further back. But look at this. I think it's Lewis Hamilton. He's picked up some damage from a battle with Daniel Ricciardo, and he's causing an absolute monster of a train. And it's backed all of them up into Radiant Slothz, who will be taking full advantage here, no doubt. DRS open on Charles Leclerc, going past him for the second time this race. It's like the days of old, the Williams versus the Ferrari, as he goes down the inside. Oh, but Charles Leclerc is fighting back. He's going to the inside of Radiant Slothz, but is not able to get his car far enough alongside him as they come round. And now next up, Lando Norris.
Radiant Slothz does not DNF. Not something you see every day.
No, and it looks as though he might even be on for some points here, especially with Lewis Hamilton holding up these cars as much as he is. I mean, look at the train that's formed here. Utterly ridiculous, but he does come in for a new front wing, and an ambitious move there from Radiant Slothz on the closing of lap 9. Didn't make it round, and Giovinazzi has come in as well, which promotes him up to 8th. And all of these cars... Oh, he's going around the outside of Lando Norris. Will he make it? He does! It's P7 for the rookie Williams driver. On a bounce back from a dreadful start to his Formula 1 career earlier on in this season. But ahead of him, he does have the 3 or 4-time world champion, Sebastian Vettel. I can't remember. Probably 4.
4 times.
It's 4 times. I can confirm it's 4 times.
Or is it 5 when he wins in this season?
Oh. Predictions. Here we go on board now. DRS open into the slipstream, and it looks as though Carlos Sainz is suffering, having no DRS there. Oh, but what's this? The DRS has remained open. There's an issue on the Williams. The DRS is still open. That's going to be costing him a lot of downforce. Nick, you've driven a lot of this season with a broken DRS. Can you confirm that that might be causing some problems for him?
Well, to balance it out, I've only ever had the DRS stuck closed. So on average, our DRS has been working. That is not a track extend by Justin Freshcott.
Definitely wasn't a track extend with a car which definitely does not have reduced downforce as the DRS is shut. Going around the last corner.
Has regular low downforce as it's a Williams.
But back up on Radiant Slothz. Look at the advantage he's getting here with this DRS open on these straights before the DRS line. You see him accelerate away. Normally he would be absolutely swamped by the cars behind, but look at the gap he's able to pull on Lando Norris. This is incredible.
The only question we have to ask is this an error with the DRS, or is this another cheating strategy from Radiant Sloth's side of the garage?
Have the Williams crew hacked the software that controls that DRS? Is it still open as we come to the end of Sector 1 here? Oh, there we go. It has shut. Right after the downforce was actually needed to go through those winding sections, right at the start of this this lap. And with 2.5 laps to go, he'll be setting his sights on Sainz. Definitely not a rip-off of Heinz Beans, as we see Charles Leclerc go past Lando Norris in the background. And here we go. 2 laps to go.
Will he make the pass?
We're on board.
Up the hill into turn 1.
One of the easiest overtaking opportunities on this track, and he goes to the outside. And he goes round. Oh, but he's not able to do it. Not on this try. And Carlos Sainz must be nursing an issue, because the gap that he has drawn out to Sebastian Vettel is quite considerable now. That's a 4.5 second gap. So whoever gets to the head of this pack will likely stay in 6th place. We shall see who that will be. We definitely do not know the outcome. Charles Leclerc goes to the inside, round onto the DRS straight. We're going to have a drag race. A drag race to chase down the Ferrari. He looks to his left. He knows that Charles Leclerc is there. He looks again. He's definitely still there.
He's making sure.
He's definitely there. And Charles Leclerc goes for a move on his teammate. Lando Norris trying to get involved, and a dive bomb from the Williams. Oh, he gets the place back. And we come round. Carlos Sainz really struggling now. It's either an engine issue or worn tyres, but he is definitely way off the pace that he should be at. as we come round. He's not coming to the pits, so he is going to try and make it to the end of the race with that limping Ferrari. And Radiant Slothz goes to look into.
Overtake. Will he crash into him?
He goes, and he gets it. Carlos Slothz tries to turn in.
Contact.
Carlos
You have to
Slothz
say, Radiant Slothz completely at fault.
definitely not at fault for any of that, as we rejoin him now at the end of the lap. A little track extend at the end just to please the crowd as we round the final corner. You can see how much it means to him. 8 points go to him in the Drivers' Championship. And now back on board with Justin Freshpot. The conclusion of the race. He has still got half the track to go, and he's spun. I think that sums up the day that he's having. Oh! Mick Schumacher!
Mick Schumacher is a blind man. Somehow didn't see the yellow flag.
Don't let your emotions get in the way. Williams goes defensive on Hamilton. Oh, no, and he wipes out the 6-time world champion.
Lewis Hamilton completely at fault for that incident.
Unbelievable stuff.
Shocking driving.
On the final lap, let's see what
champion.
happens. He comes into the corner, just a touch too much on the throttle, a mistake that Radiant Slothz is perfectly aware of. There's the bump from Mick Schumacher to get him going. In fact, it probably helped him, if anything. And here comes Nikita Mazepin. Unsurprising that he's around at the scene of an incident. And there it is. Just blocks Lewis Hamilton. Unbelievable.
You have to say the Haas team causing both incidents.
What a conclusion. Driver of the day, Nick, you've chosen Sebastian Vettel. Why do you think so?
Because he made a pit stop that he didn't make, according to you. And that is something that only the greats can do in this sport.
It certainly is. And it looks as though we have Valtteri Bottas as the race winner. You know, if I was to take a guess, Nick, I'd say that he's well on to win this world title.
It could go to anyone. We still don't know, as there's 3 races left.
There's 4 races left, but it's it could
3
be
races to go.
It could be Valtteri Bottas. Is this a sign of things to come? As the champagne, or not champagne, as you pointed out once before, is sprayed into the crowd.
Sparkling wine. Perez ceremoniously pours it all down the back of Valtteri Bottas.
Incredible.
What a gesture.